The Book of Enoch, Section 1, Chapter 2. I observed everything that took place in the heavens, how the luminaries, which are in the heavens, do not depart from their paths, that each one rises and sets in order, each in its time, and they do not depart from their laws. See the earth and observe the things that are done on it, from the first to the last, how no work of God is irregular in appearing. See the summer and the winter, how then the whole earth is full of water, and the clouds and dew and rain rest over it. Evolutionary scientists have a hard time explaining how something that is not designed is very well designed. Look at our solar system. It doesn't matter if you believe in space or not. Look up. Everything up there is in its place. It's in the place it's supposed to be in. The sun and the moon, their patterns are what they're supposed to be. When we see changes in those patterns, we often forget that those patterns are due to what God has already ordained. His word is set in stone. What happens to us when these things occur is on us. But we must understand that we are protected. We have been protected for a very long time. I briefly discussed the prophecy of Gog and Magog, a great example of how God keeps the maintenance of everything going until the appointed time. When your loyalty and faith in the Lord is going to show. See, events like that are what's going to expose the true saints and the true sinners, and how spiritually prepared you are. I would like to say that something like that is just a story, but I can't. What am I going to say? Oh, God, he's just joking? No, I have to consider it along with everything else. See, I think one of the issues with man today is that we think God won't do something. Oh no, never think that. You can't presuppose what God is going to do. So, we are going to talk for a bit about how things are being held back, how our lives are in constant danger, and God is keeping us alive. Oh yes, you've been blessed. Enoch goes on to say, I observed and saw how then all the trees appeared as if withered, and all their leaves are shaken off, except 14 trees, whose leaves are not shaken off, but which abide with the old from 2 to 3 years, till the new come. And again, I observed the days of summer, how the sun is then above it, opposite to it, but ye seek cool in shady places on account of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with fervent heat. But ye cannot step on the earth or on a rock because of their heat. I observe how the trees cover themselves with the green of the leaves and bear fruit. But observe ye all this and learn how he who lives forever has made all these for you. How his works are before him in every year that comes, and all his works serve him and are not changed, but as God has ordained, so everything takes place. See, we forget that some things have a spiritual foundation. In other words, heavenly spirits are who maintain the function and movement of objects like the moon. The moon is constantly adjusted to stay in the position that it is in. We try to come up with all these theories as to how it got there. It was placed there. as part of the design. Remember, God has angels to do a lot of the work. How many stories have you heard of the moon being brought here by space people? The moon's position is just right, just like Jupiter's position is purposed. Now, when Enoch is saying all this about his observations, it's hard to tell who he is talking to. The people who lived back then or the people of today. And I think both. You see, Judgment Day has come several times in the past. Judgment Day came in the days of Noah. God made a judgment call on the earth and said, nope, we're starting all over. He literally wiped the earth clean. Like you clean off your kitchen counter with water, then wipe it dry. That's what happened. Don't laugh. Judgment Day came for Babylon. Judgment Day came for Sodom and Gomorrah. Judgment Day came for Egypt. Judgment Day came for the Roman Empire, the Mayan Empire. And the final Judgment Day is coming for us. Earth is safe from asteroid Apophis for the next 100 years. During the asteroid Apophis' most recent flyby in early March, astronomers were busy taking observations of this infamous space rock. Later calculations let NASA scientists announce on March 26, 2021, that Earth is safe from an impact with the relatively large asteroid for at least the next 100 years. Radar observations taken at NASA's Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex in California and the Green Bank Observatory in West Virginia has officially ruled out an impact in 2068, the only year out of the next 100 that previously showed a slight risk. Earlier observations had ruled out impacts during the upcoming 2029 and 2036 flybys. So what happened here, folks? See, they don't really put emphasis on the asteroid changing orbit. They do hint at it by telling how an asteroid can change orbit. So we should understand that they have observed something that they cannot explain, when all their calculations before were pointing to a certain risk of impact in 2068 to no risk. So the asteroid changed its mind. Why didn't it change its mind and have a higher risk of impact? And this is not the first time this has happened. Every time they think one of these things is going to cause some type of impact, these things change direction as if they were deflected. It is the reason why a lot of natural disasters are past due. It is the reason why more nuclear power plants haven't melted down. It is the reason why certain volcanoes haven't erupted yet, when they should have. It is the reason why globalists cannot kill us off, no matter how hard they try, with whatever method they use. It always fails in the end, because it is only what God will allow, and everything else happens at the time He has appointed it to happen. Divine intervention is not just about saving an individual's life, but it's about maintaining the plan. God has His plan, and mankind has theirs. If you want to follow along with God's plan, then you must maneuver through life the way He instructs you to. Otherwise, you are following man's plan to a certain demise. God demonstrates this to us over and over again. We never learn. We have raised mankind to its peak, and then everything crumbles. City after city, empire after empire, nation after nation. Think about this. God could have stopped the fallen angels from ever taking women. He could have interrupted their little meeting and with a snap of the finger erased them all like Thanos. He allowed them to ruin the earth and their own existence. Who do you think all that was done for? God created man for a reason, and nobody ruins God's plan. Not us, and not angels. The anger of the Lord will not turn back until He has executed and accomplished the intents of his heart. In the later days, you will understand it clearly. So the main reason I wanted to bring this up now is because as we move forward into the future, we need to keep this important concept in our minds when it comes to things we will face. Here's the thing. The argument exists that there is no scientific evidence to show that divine intervention exists. What we do have are observations of this. They have observed their nuclear warheads being neutralized by visible and invisible UFOs. They have optic devices that can see shadow figures everywhere. Yes, they have quantum cameras that are based on the ideas of quantum entanglement. I know you're like, what? Yeah. They can get images of objects that are not there but are there, if that makes any sense. They don't even understand it fully, but they know how to use it. You see, where did they get this technology? On top of that, look into Iroquois technology. See, look, they know. While people out there are still struggling with their faith and believing in all this, they know. They are way past the stage of faith. They have no doubts that God is real. They have no doubt that the devil is real and fallen angels. So they are secure in their beliefs. Trust me. They have evidence. So what about the individual? What about cases of miraculous healing or clinically dead people coming back to life? And people say, well, it's God's will. I don't think any of us can be certain, but there are scriptures and there are examples of how his will works. Remember, Abraham prayed and prayed for God not to destroy Sodom, and God was going to listen to Abraham. But because there was really no one worth saving in that city, he destroyed it anyway, because it was all part of the plan. Moses wanted God to pick somebody else, but he had to be the one. Everything played out the way it was supposed to based on the decisions he knew Moses would make. A call to action. We are entering a time period where the things that were being held back from us, hidden from us, that barrier, that veil is getting thinner. And many things will no longer be held back. There's going to come a day when God is going to allow one of those asteroids to get through. The time is going to come when God allows the earth to do what it wants. And when God allows for these invisible beings to show themselves, it's not going to be pretty. I know this topic is very basic, but it is to help remind those out there who value this information that being spiritually grounded and secure is first in the preparation for a final judgment day. And the next step is to get your thoughts straight. That is going to involve giving certain substances up, cleansing, and just getting your body in shape. These are really the most important things because stuff isn't going to help you if you don't have access to that stuff in a time of chaos. What good is a bunker if you're in some other state when things go down? What good is a gun if it's not on you at all times? What good is a vehicle and extra gas if the vehicle is stolen? So in the end, we can only really rely on our own mind, body, and soul with the leadership of God to survive what is coming. We will discuss this a bit more, and then we will get into some of the physical preps we can make, equipment, gear, shelter, food stock, things like that. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. There is a lot more to come. I have some very important information coming next week, and I'm very excited to get that out. Make sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. And until next time, friends, value this information. And as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.